Welcome everyone, it's Vapor Drake. It's time for some more Raid Shadow Legends. We're going to be starting with the Fireknight tournament. Fighting stage 16 Fireknight. I have yet to get above that. Yes. Now there is a scary part of this when I go into Doom Tower as well, but this Fireknight in and of itself is about as scary as my team can tolerate. Because afterwards they just die. And I managed to not land anything. But you know, I could try it. Not saying I'm gonna live. Because the waves alone will probably completely destroy me. But we can try. And I'm not going to necessarily get more points either. First we have to check what affinity it is. This, depending on the affinity, depends on whether we can get it or not. I'm probably also going to have to put Scylla the Drakes into the equation, because I'm going to need more healers for the higher Fireknight. But I think we all want to see the Doom Tower, but the thing that's weird about this dungeon, and why this dungeon is such a big deal, is that there is Savage gear in this dungeon. Now, Savage gear is used for many things. One of them is very high damage dealers, including Kale, for amping Kale's ability to hit people. Because it ignores a whopping 25% of your defense. Which, if you couldn't tell by the way I said that, it's a big deal to ignore 25% of someone's defense. That's a big deal. How big of a deal? It's the only dungeon, non-Doom Tower, non-Hydra gear that does that. That's the reality of the matter. Now, the main key is with this boss, as per usual, is to multi-hit the shield. You have to multi-hit the shield in order to kill it. Without that, you usually can't win. It's not mean this is over, but it also doesn't mean that we're going to definitely win either. Because this boss does trying to do some damage to it before it hides behind the shield again. Is that it will inevitably do. Now, our accuracy isn't exactly the highest, but with some heal reduction, we can control it just enough and keep its defense low that we might be able to actually beat it. It's not 100%, we will see. I have had cleaner runs of this before. I mean, he does have a harder version, very similar to the way the Gravekeeper has a harder version. As you saw, he keeps getting harder and harder and harder to do anything to. Next one, we're probably going to need Syl. Come on, hit it. Hey, yes! Ooh, juicy. Savage Helm. Okay. Now, I think the next one favors us. Yeah, I think it favors us, but I still don't know if it favors him specifically. This is not the easiest dungeon on the planet. I'm going to tell you that right now. I do not know whether we're going to live or not, because these enemies are highly dangerous. We are getting into the realm of truly dangerous enemies. Very similar to that dungeon that I was fighting, remember? The one boss. I know this seems boring, but when you're fighting these level 200 enemies, if they strike, they can strike you super, super hard, if they so choose. Which is not something you generally want. The reason that Coldheart can do this, by the way, at all, is because Coldheart is a very special attribute. And you know what that attribute is? She's void. Now, void means that she has no weak affinities or strong affinities. So, this version is still doable. However, she's not the most durable champion on the planet. And being versus level 220 mobs is not the easiest thing on the planet. Hopefully, we will get to the end and be able to fight the boss. I think I could actually do this with different setup. It's encouraging that we got to the boss, though. That's encouraging. What's not encouraging is the fact that we didn't manage to actually do any damage to it. Because it takes no damage, really. Let's just go for that, because I see myself getting resisted a lot. That's the problem. So if the Heartseeker is up, I might as well use it. Okay, good. I beat this, it'll be the first time I ever do so. So there will be that. And we're talking on any account. Granted, I do have a plan for the other account to do it, and it involves Magnar. Because Magnar is one of the best nukers in Raid, and I finally managed to get him on my second account. Is Ninja useful here? Not as much as you might think, because Ninja cannot deal with the affinity of this boss. The affinity of this boss would actually ruin him, unless he is in an exceptionally good gear. I'm assuming this is Fireknight 17. Memory serves. Depending on what affinity Fireknight 18 is, depends on whether or not we could beat it. This is not as easy as it looks. Because I have to try to see if I can get my stuff to land on it. Becomes like the higher degrees of spider. Ooh, we got a turn meter decrease out of that. Not bad. So we are definitely... This is the hardest Fireknight I've ever fought in the history of this game, by the way. The highest difficulty. This will be a new record if I beat it. It took... Here's the thing. I can't even do this Fireknight on the other account because I don't have a cold heart, pretty much. You need a cold heart to even get this far. New record! The gear is not the best. Spirit Affinity. I'm not hot on that. Fireknight 20. Okay. I also did it for this quest that I just did. 12 crypt keys in Faction Wars. What do we got for Faction Wars? We got this, which is not great, leveled. And then we got this, where we got... Know what? Just to commemorate this occasion. Where is Drokgul? We'll take him up if we can. Perfect. What? Some kind of rock. Some kind of rock. And then, of course, for the next big project, we're going to be doing Doom Tower, where I'm going to be climbing Doom Tower and seeing what boss we can get to. But yeah, that was a new record. I have never fought that high of a Fire Knight before and lived. To give you an idea, that Fire Knight is a higher level than any Minotaur. Any Minotaur. The Fire Knight is also higher than any spider I've ever fought in. And ever fought any spider. Almost the highest I've been in Doom Tower, but it's not. Because now there's a reason I'm doing this on manual, because sometimes the AI in Faction Wars specifically gets very funky. We're still not ready to take on the higher floors until I get some of these other guys to a higher level. What's going on?
I was just thinking about the Canadian flags that are outside people's houses and
Oh, I thought you were thinking about that boss.
no,
I mean, I did beat the boss, but
amazing.
yeah, I know the boss is ridiculous. Well, so is this one, but not as much. Like that one, it's like, please, please, no. Can I get away from it? Can I get it? Can I get it? No. I still have to beat the Evergale boss. I still have to beat that thing. We got the block buffs. There's our stacking poison on the boss. Get the shield up. Get more shields. This is not as easy as it looks, this boss fight. Because this can go bad. Now, one thing that makes this boss fight slightly easier, but not by a whole heck of a lot, is the fact we have Ugo. Because Ugo, if we fall, she has a team-wide revive. So, there's that. That move also blocks revive if he has enough buffs on himself. Well, I have to finish this faction war, and then the grand finale is going to be Doom Tower. And I'm going to see what we can get to. We might be able to fight the Frost Spider. And also, people might get to see the outrageous arena that is around later in another episode. How outrageous is outrageous? Outrageous. As in, I do not know why this guy's against me, but he is. And he's OP. The main thing I'm trying to do is cut the battle sages out of the equation. Don't obfuscate. Alright, this will be the last floor we do this, I promise. Because I just want to get the 12 crypt keys in Faction Wars, because that's a quest. You do it and you get a lot of energy fuel. I mean, I will be doing more Elden Ring. I obviously still have a score to settle with the Evergale guy. The Hound, remember the Evergale?
Yes.
Still have to settle a score with that guy, and then I have to try to figure out where to progress. I still don't know where the
Where do you want to go out to eat? The fish place is closed this Monday.
Probably the Indian restaurant if we can, but I don't know.
Okay. Well, if you find out with this game part, before we do the final thing, make that a separate video.
Yeah.
And this is not perfect.
Trying to remember. Oh yes, the Fire Knight of Doom. The new Fire Knight record. It takes a little bit to beat it. Like, I mean, this game is kind of hard. It's just not as hard as some of the stuff in Elden Ring. Because the thing about Elden Ring is it's all in real time. You're literally running away from this rampaging guy with double blades. Who's like, goes more and more berserk each time you get him lower and lower on health. It's like an Olaf. It's like fighting Olaf in Elden Ring. It's like really nasty. Yeah, that's where the last part comes into play.